J'enregistre.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of May 30th, 2020. As always, we will start with the national anthem. And now the reflection of the council. Us, as a municipal elected official, we take the commitment of looking at our community favorably and inspiringly. We're also taking the responsibility to always have a right judgment, and at any time during our discussion, all our actions are efficient, inspired, in the interest and the global wellness of the citizens of this town. Good evening, Council Member. It's a pleasure to see you again. I'd like to know we are gathering on the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq Wolastoq people. Mr. Clerk, we do have the quorum for this evening. Everybody's there. Number 3, are there any council member who would like to declare any conflict of interest of items on the agenda? Seeing none, thank you. Number 4, adoption of the agenda. You have it in front of you, so we need a motion. Moved by Councillor Sylvie Boudreau and Councillor seconded by Paul Boudreau. Questions on the motion? If not, all in favor, please like aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Number 5, minutes of the regular board meeting held on April 25, 2022, and the special board meeting held on May 17, 2022. So we need a motion to adopt them. Moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Questions on the motion? Omission, anything? If not, all in favor signify aye. Against nay. Motion carried. 6, we have public presentation. We have Mr. Léo Doiron. He has to talk to us. If you can get to the front. I just want to know, Mr. Doiron, I know you're here to talk about the Pillar and Wharf. I'm taking it for granted. I just wrote a few notes I just wanted to mention before. Because of the increased use of the wharf on Riverside Street and the inadequate space to welcome the public in a safe way, the council decided to close this access on August 2021. Following a presentation for the public, who mentioned like the importance of access to water, the council mandated the Public Safety Committee to find some solution to have access to water for the town of Shediac and bring a motion to the council in order to help those committees. For this work, the council will add 2 councillors on this committee, and to increasing experience in kayak and board. Just to let you know. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before yeah, my condolences on the pass on your father's passing. Dear council member, I'm in front of you to talk to you again. The last time I was here, you did not answer all my questions. I asked very clearly what would be the answer for the security of the citizen and the tourists also of the Skoduk River that you might address. Another very important question I asked you, I did not get any answer yet. Does the town has the intention to close the Webster Park? It's a very to close like the Webster Park. I asked the same question the last time. Does the council has the intention to close the Webster Park? I can say we had no discussion to this effect. Thanks. That's the reason I'm asking the question. You 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 seem to think the Webster Park is not important. A few years ago, you had washroom in the Webster Park. So if there was still washrooms like in Webster Park, people would not, Mr. and Mrs. Pellerin would not complain that people are peeing on their land. When I was a little boy on Riverside Drive, Emile, you're a little bit older than I am. You must remember this. And Germaine, you're from that area, and Paul, you're older than me. So the Riverside Drive was, there were always water on it. And the town of Shediac, like the road was maybe half the width of Riverside Drive today. There was no water. It was water. There was no land. This is a picture from 1905. And it stayed like this until maybe the end of 60s, beginning of 17, when they they made the street wider, they increased the height of the street, and they went in water. And I don't think today, like the government will allow them because of environment reasons. Then, to ask and information, we were able to give you the proof that motivates your motion dated August 31st, 2021, that it never existed since Odette and Gerard Pellerin gave all the fact to contest like your safety reasons. So why do you insist to the fact that the citizens are always in danger by using the ramp? I went to the bridge, like we're calling it at the time, and I stayed there maybe for most of the town. Nobody got hurt. Nobody. We always use it. Even like some people drown in Skoduk River, and that's what that's where they put like the boat, like they used to launch the boat like to get the people that drowned. Since like Odette and Gerard Pellerin gave like the letter like from Daniel Elbin, like only 3 days after your work meeting, why do you still insist to ignore like those facts? Since your lawyer was not even consulted at this on the matter of the Pellerin Wharf, how can you continue to believe there was no like no civil case in this institution? The way it was done, nobody belonged to it. Nobody could get caught. So when we bought the property on Brown Street, Carol and myself, we knew like there would be like high loud noises with because of the festival in Corset, but we wanted the property, and we're living with the problem. When Mrs. Pellerin bought the property on Riverside Drive, they knew the park Webster was beside them. They knew like they were launching boat there. So why all of a sudden it's like the rules are changing? I work in real estate for over 20 years, 20 years, 1 month. And and I know what the value of property. And this not it's nothing personal against Danny. What is it? It's a justice for the town of Shediac. He bought like his uncle's property. It was formerly like his grandfather's house. He knew where it was and he knew the consequences, like with boats and all that. Now all of a sudden, so they form like a PID number with 160 feet long, right close like to on the corner of Webster, the Webster Park, and it goes up to Auguste Warren's house. So when will it happen? So the big condos like there, so it will go like from the road like Dr. Webster, it will go up to touch like Danny's lot. Is that we'll do? We'll let people take their property, like the town that belongs to the town of Shediac, a property where the town of Shediac spent thousands and thousands of dollars to widen the street, add rock, and all of a sudden it's someone's property. I cannot see this. The property today, because of if a person comes from Ontario and wants to buy a property, and it's a great property, beautiful property. So what will help him sell it? I have money. I want to have my boat right in front of my house on my wharf, a wharf that belonged to nobody, a wharf that the town of Shediac should have made it part of the Webster Park. So that's what should have been done with this. We have pictures here. So this is today's picture of Riverside Drive. This is the photo of before. And you can see the difference, like the difference in the width. It's just the citizen of the town of Shediac who paid for this. And all of a sudden, somebody can take a PID. We had a PID number 4 years ago. We had it. Mrs. Simone Landry Greco would have signed the Legion. We got the permission from the town of Shediac and the permission from Beaubassin. So was the same follow-up done in this case? Is it the same follow-up that was done for Danny Pellerin? He works for the town, and he will benefit from this. Some favors were done, and as I said in the beginning, it's nothing personal. You say you have the safety of the citizen dear to your heart in Shediac. This is a big photo. It's not clear. I don't know if you can. You have a big, yeah, circulate. You go up, and it worked. It's been there for weeks. Middle of the street, no flag man. Nobody's there for the safety of it. As for the town of Shediac, it's okay because it's a guy from outside doing it. It's an outside contractor, so he doesn't have to follow the rules. In the summer, we're saying that 20 cars. The car's not supposed to be there. They put sign and everything. Yeah. Circulate this one too. Another one, another day. I'm trying to show you, to tell you like the citizen who came here, who lived here all their life, or most of they are as important as the people who moved to Shediac, and sometimes like the council are making decisions. All citizens of the town of Shediac, you did not live there when you were young. And that's the majority of the council and the management. So at the end of the day, this could be solved. Open spaces where we can launch our boats in the water. Number two, the council should do the right thing and expropriate like the land with the PID at the wharf and on the piece of land. Auguste Warren paid the taxes to the town of Shediac, 83 years, and he launches boat there every year since he was born. Since his childhood. He's 83 years old. He's sick, and he cannot launch his boat in the water now. We grew up there. It's great, like the expansion of the town and change it, but at the end of the day, we're important too. And I think it's time, like the council really should start to think. So what was done is not fair. So if it means that can go in front of and clean all the earth there, just make myself a PID number and everything will be okay. It doesn't make sense. No thought was put in this decision here. And I don't even know if the council look at this, or if it was like the municipal clerk say, make a motion and that's what will happen and everything will be great. So before you do something like that, you had the problem in 2016. So they changed the tactic and they're doing it another way. Same result, we do not have a place to launch our boat. So it's been there for 80 years. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So this is a map. You can see where the PID was created. So I got this from the Service NB site and I measured it, and it gave maybe around close. I'm not saying like 166, but that's close. You see, you're right in front of the house where Monette built her house, and you're close like to where Arthur Douaron, then it's August now. And in the first picture I showed you, this is the road before it was repaired. And in 1960, 70, the roads were still like that. Every time the water would go up, it would go on the road. Another time you could not go, two cars could not meet. So the council really has to look at this, and it has to do it seriously, because people will not stop. The next step, we'll get a lawyer. We will not stop. We want to have what we belong. It's our taxpayers who paid for that road. There was no land to take. The wharf, everybody was using it. It wasn't taking maintenance for years. Like the town repair it because that's where they were having the fireworks, because it was all damaged. And now all of a sudden we have a PID number. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not respectful. It's not respectful for the town of Shediac citizen. And I would like to conclude with
serve and be seen to serve the welfare and interests of the town as a whole, and the community.
That's what you're saying.
Consciousness and diligent manner, and shall approach decision-making with an open mind. So
this is your bylaw 64.
Consideration, treatment or advantage to any citizen or to groups of citizens beyond that wish is accorded to all citizens. Nous autres, on a fallu à la Légion et à la...
At the Legion, for the Legion, we had to go through a process just to make sure everybody was respected. So why wasn't this done? So why the Auguste Douaron, Monette, and the town of Shediac? So why were they not notified? We had an ad saying, so, and it was open to public. So what would take place?
Puis je vous le dis, messieurs et madame,
And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen,
conseillères et maires, la
Councillor and Mayor,
propriété
the property,
d'un terrain vaut 200
then
000 piastres de plus
like
aujourd'hui à
is
la
worth like $200,000 more than it was.
number.
So when he got the PID number,
Travaille pour la municipalité de Chediac.
he works for the town of Shediac. It's a good friend of the Shediac store, and we have to be fair to the citizens of Shediac.
Si vous avez des questions, je vous
If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. I have no questions, so the only thing I will mention, the town of Shediac, it does not give PID numbers. We do not have control. You can expropriate. It's another thing if
faisiez la bonne chose.
we do the right thing. So PID do the right thing. So they can sign it.
Personne ne travaille pour la
So when a person works for the municipality,
municipalité d'apporter
and this work is to bring the people to the town of Shediac,
qui y en va.
and with the responsibility they have,
Puis comme employé
and as the employee of the town of Shediac, it's not something that should
pour attirer du monde à Chediac.
damage anyone, like to attract someone to live in Shediac. Thanks for your comments. Councillor Emile. Question, yes, thanks. It's not really a question. The subject, like the pillar and wharf, so it really, I know what you're talking, really, it touches me. I just want to clarify a couple of points that were discussed over the last few weeks. So I would like to start with August 26th. My vote as a councillor on the Pillar and Wharf file on the meeting held on August 26th, it was based on the information that was presented. So the information was a question of insurance and safety of the citizen of the town of Shediac. Straight and simple. So that's what I voted on. So there was no argument there. Me too, I can confirm that my support as a municipal councillor goes with the 400 members of the public who signed a petition that was circulated a few weeks ago. In the public's interest, the citizens of the town of Shediac, we're working to find a solution. The solution, Mr. Council, it's to open again and take that PID number back. And my second point, through 3 points. These are big letters, so it doesn't take long. Page 2, on the question of conflict of interest. Conflict of interest was bounced around over the last few weeks. I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. And I just wanted to say this. Either like members of the council or staff members, we cannot tell a person like he's in a conflict of interest. The Act says like it's the person impacted who has the responsibility to declare their own conflict of interest. And if a taxpayer considers like the money spent by the town of Shediac benefited someone in particular and there is conflict of interest, they can submit an official complaint and inquest will follow. And the results will say if they decide like if the legislation on conflict of interest will apply or not. Page 3. Because of clarity and acceptable solution, we have to make sure we're on the same page in collaboration with the Protection Committee. Your request is to have access on water and riverside drive to launch like vessels, like kayak and boats. So that's what we're working on. So that's a solution we want to work on. But it has nothing to do with the Pillar and Wharf because it's not the town. It's not the town's problem. You can expropriate him. So that is an option. You're totally right. It's an option. I would support this. If it would come on the table, I would support it. That's what I wanted to see. Thanks for listening to me, and Councillor O'Brien. If you support this solution, as a councillor, You have the right to present a motion. Mr. Mayor, officially, I'm making the motion. I'm putting the motion on the table that the administration get the required information to possibly start an expropriation for the Pèlerin Wharf. It's up to you to decide. I support this personally. I mentioned it already. We want to mandate the administration to get the required information to start the expropriation process, to start with research to possibly do an expropriation. So we have a motion on the table as presented. I think people understand. Do I have someone to second the motion? Can I ask a question? I have no second, so the question would be after. Yes, I would allow the question because there's no one who raised their hand or saying if the solution to go with the protection, and it's a better solution than the Pèlerin Wharf, because I'm going somewhere. If we have a solution, would be able to want to go back on Pèlerin Wharf, so we can start the ball rolling, but we might find a better solution. We did this at the meeting before, so we gave the mandate to the protection and active transportation to look at this issue and bring it back to the municipal council. And now we're asking them as soon as possible. It could be an option. We could ask the committee to check, and the administration could do some research accordingly. If someone's asking me the question, can we expropriate or not? I know something a municipality can do. In which situation, I'm not the expert. Not to expropriate for expropriation. It's expropriate to develop a development that would be on the Pèlerin Wharf. Councillor O'Brien, you want a motion to do some research to get to this point? We will give more information to more. So I second the motion. Councillor Galland seconds the motion. So we have a motion on the table. Questions on the motion or other questions? Councillor Peter. So did it change like the work, like the work the committee was asked to do? I think yes, it will be some work. It would be logical, like the work would be done with. That's the question I ask. If we find a better solution, we still have the option. Because the committee already started its work. I don't know if the motion is too early. I have no problem to support this motion if I need. But I think the committee has a solution to propose like before we go to this motion. So that's I wouldn't want the committee like to change its directive, because I think the committee had good intention to solve this problem. And I would not want to see I would not like the motion to change the mandate of the committee. So that is the reason I asked the question. I have no problem if the committee cannot reach get the solution they wanted to do. I have no problem to support like expropriation motion, but I wouldn't want to start with the proposal that would acceptable. That's the only reason, like, I think the motion maybe is a little bit too soon. Thanks, Councillor Bro. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I share like what Councillor Peter and Jean said. I think the two they have to be done at the same time, but we're always talking about the Pèlerin Wharf and access to water. I don't know if I ask the question to Mr. Doiron or Mr. and Mrs. Pèlerin were here this evening. If I'm asking you what you want, do you want the Pelican Wharf or do you want access to water? Yes, we want that because it's a township. Our taxpayers who paid to repair the roads, widen it. The Pelican Wharf, the municipality of the municipality went to repair. You have no. You should have got the PID number. The manager knew it was coming, so why did the manager told us to get the PID number for the well-being of the town of Shediac? It makes sense. I was a manager for the Metropolitan, like PI, Nova Scotia, and half New Brunswick, and I had some boss. I was only the manager. Some people were telling me what to do. So you are the people around the table. You're supposed to tell them what to do. Maybe if we would have thought about it, it should have been a public meeting for the people of. Thank you, Mr. So right now we have a motion on the table to mandate the administration to do some research towards a possible expropriation of this property. So that's what's there. So the mandate of the committee that was decided a few meetings ago was to explore like some possibilities to improve like the access to the water. It's two things that one is more like a legal consultation, and the other one it's really like some work to identify some possible solution. So the two things can be done at the same time. I will not say otherwise. It doesn't change the mandate of the committee. It's already done. Any more questions? We have a motion on the table to mandate like the administration to do some research on possible expropriation for the Pelerin Wharf. All those in favor signify by saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. Oh, one no, sorry, adopted. Thank you. Thank you very much. And one thing, there's a conflict of interest with Gilles Bello, like to be the person to get some information. Somebody else should be mandated to do this. Because right now there's a lot of us like they think it should not be the one doing the research. I understand your point, but he's our general director, general manager. Sorry. Item number 7, correspondence. Thanks, Denis. I invite you to look at the first letter. It's from the Shediac Public Library, so it's the Chair Yolande Tivias concerning. They had a meeting on April 8th at the Commission, and they nominated Andrea Melançon to sit on the Commission. So we have to approve this decision. Moved by Councillor Germaine Galland, seconded by Sylvie Colette Boudreau, to officialize the nomination of Andrea Melançon, the Shediac Library Public Commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. The next one is from Monsieur Yves Arsenault. He's the president of the Jeux de l'Acadie Acadia Games. It's the opening of the selection process of the 44th final of the Acadia Jeux de l'Acadie in 2025. Is to see if it would be an interest to apply. Question, comments? It's for 2025, so it's in a few years. It's something we can think about. Yes. I think so maybe Denis could help us to see if it's something that would be interested. because he's with the community activities, and also is to know, is there a fee, like maybe to that it takes money to make to see, like if we're considering something, like it would be like every 2 years, just to get some information to see what it means, to see what it means for the municipality. I think we need a letter of intent, and then it's up to it which is involvement. Right now, it's only like to do some research. It's a research, so we do not having. So I'm making the motion that we go forward. We mandate the administration to look for additional information. Moved by Sylvie Boudreau and seconded by Jean-Claude Bertin. Question on the motion, Councillor Pide. The last paragraph saying unless that we are part of the sessions at 7 o'clock this evening would be too late. But that's 7 o'clock this evening, so I could call tomorrow and we want to be part. Is there any way, like, I think it could be done. Jean-Claude. At least we could get some information. All those in favor say passing aye, against nay, motion carried. Next one is the Alliance Committee from LGR Score. It's for the the crosswalk, and to paint it like for the LGBTQ plus community. So moved by Councillor Janice Commune, seconded by Councillor Jean-Marie Galland to proceed to paint like the pedestrian crossing for LGR, and it's in different colors. We do it also for MFP school, and I think we did it also on the Weldon Street, but it's still in construction, so maybe not this year. We won't paint the crosswalk, so we could paint it like the two of them. So it's a friendly amendment. Questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Councillor Jean. I know we do them besides the school, but would it be good to do it like besides like the town hall? Yeah, I think while we're there, 3 instead of Weldon, we would do like in front of the town of the town hall. I think it, because the town supports it. Usually we did 3 because the one Weldon cannot do it, so they're almost done, but they're not done yet. So we'll do it LGR school, MFB school, and just in front of the town hall. Yes, just in front of the town hall. It will only be one director, because it's $900. It's quite costly, like to do it with the company. 900 on I think it said 2,700. If we did 3, did we do 3? Did we do 3? Like, okay, it was only 2 we did previously. Do you want 3 or 2 places? We'll keep it close to the schools. Councillor Germain? I'm okay. Yeah, MFP school and the church school, so Main and Béliveau Street. All those in favor saying for aye, against nay, carried. Thanks for the precision, Mark. Next correspondence from Mr. Armand Girard-Bouchot, president of the Rivière Rouge Historical Societies, concerning like the spelling of Shediac with or without an accent. So you would like to see like an accent and accent on Shediac. So on this matter, I will give you some information. as a participant of the transition committee, I would like to know, like, the question of the town for the new municipal was tackled by the transition committee, comprised of myself and Paul Boudreau from the town Shediac and the fourth LSE, so where we will amalgamate in the January 2020. So the committee recommended the province of New Brunswick to retain the name of Shediac with only the E, because as their reputation for as a touristic destination and its Aboriginal origin. And last week, like they unveiled all the name of the new municipal entities and with the name of Shediac with an E. So that's something I wanted to mention to you. It's a question regardless what the municipal council want or did not want. This would be decided by the transition committee. So we saw there were several other municipal entities with different names, and that's the only thing I had to say. The next one, for Jean-Guy Leblanc, is mentioning like various concerns like on the town development. Here is asking a few questions, the planning and also. And it's, yes, we are expanding. And then last one, Councillor Paul Boudreau. Mr. Jean-Guy Leblanc is asking question that we should answer. It's simple. He's asking, do we have professional development services? Or he's referring like we have the watershed. We have a group managing the watershed. We can get back to him with those information. And so the planning commission, and so Denis with his with the green space also, like for a 4-season plan. It's the same vision. Thank you. Councillor Patrice. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Reading like the correspondence from Mr. Leblanc. I have a few concerns, and I already mentioned them, like not necessarily like do development like where we have spaces or where there's a possibility to do so. I understand like we're growing, but just to tell you, like we know like this the subject on the building, like maximum height is coming with the commission, and I would like for us, we would look for this document and to see which area of the town it will affect, and look at the broader picture, not each building individually. I agree with on some points made by Mr. Leblanc concerning our developments. We had the same discussion on the same matter, so, and you would like to be able like to give more certainty. It's not a matter, it's planned like this or it's planned like that, so it can make things clearer. Thank you. Next, the last correspondence is from United Church. It's a request for $1,000. I already have it in the budget, so it's we need a motion. Moved by Deputy Minister Jean-Claude Bertin, seconded by Councillor Germain Dollar to give $1,000 donation to the Trinity United Church. All those in favor saying aye, against nay, motion carried. So this ends the correspondence. Financial report. It's 8.11. It's for April, the month of April, so we need a motion to adopt, moved by Deputy Minister Jean-Claude Bertin, that the financial report is adopted as presented, seconded by Councillor Janice Cormier. Questions on the motion? Councillor Patricia. It's not a question concerning the numbers. It's more like for the budget. So I'm wondering if Denis, so when we prepare a budget for aesthetics, so are the budgets, given to for contracts, and so where I'm going with this, because I went to Capelé last weekend, and I'm still sticking on the fact that, like the sign for Capelé, we have flowers. It's only mulch and a couple of shrubs, but the signs is sticking out compared to ours. That's at about 30, 30 amongst 30 other signs. I was just wondering if there were the amounts, if we had anything left to. Are we talking about signs on the Route 15? So if we had anything, we brought a motion 3 4 years ago. It was close like 30,000. So do we have those amounts in the budget? Well, do we still have some like for flower budget? So maybe not 30,000, but. So I was wondering like 30,000, but we had rocks and shrubs. But I could maybe the rocks are making the difference in the price. So I could ask also like quotes from other businesses. If it's a wish of the board, we can go see with other landscapers. If you're asking for something that's not $30,000, so do not what we can do with 5,000, 10,000. Because I thought like really it made like the Capelé sign stick out. I would be ready to mandate like Denise team to see what we could do with the budget, like with a reasonable budget. Mulch and shrubs and I second. Moved by Councillor Bouchevary and to mandate the administration, Denise team to look at at the landscaping. Do we have to vote on the budget before we do make another motion? We have a motion on the table. Questions on the motion? Councillor Janier. It's a question, general question. So when I look where there's an insurance like with above our budget, so I imagine like our insurance premium increased. Do we have a percentage of what increase? I think it increased about 10%. So this year in 2022, many municipalities had bills that were higher than 10%, like 75% more. So we're not part of a group with the municipalities. We're doing it directly, like with the Vienno Insurance. Is it something that's coming on the table like every year to see where our insurance? So is there something coming up like a contract or? So for several years we've been with Vienno. There was another company offering the service, but it came to the council like we decided to stay local because this business supported more community. But for 10 years we did not check elsewhere. Because there's not only Vienno Insurance in the town of Shediac, so I just wanted to, if the insurance are going up, Frank Cowan and Associate, if I remember, there's corporators. This is the liability insurance, so we're dealing with them already. Thank you, I was just wondering. Mr. Deputy Mayor, just to go back on the comments of the Councillor Patricia made. So the amount they're saying, I know it's high, but for this year, a topsoil like with flowers and mulch, it will look good. We do not need to put like some rocks and anything like that. We could add it after. It would look good. It's like the Big Lobster, like there's no rocks. It's only a suggestion, and it looks good. So, on the motion, like to adopt the financial statement, all those in favor saying aye, against nay, motion carried. Councillor Patricia, A motion to mandate like the community life to look at the improvement of the signs on the highway, seconded by Councilor Sylvie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. 8.2 Protection Services. So we have police service report, department report. I saw it lately. It was for the last quarter. And I think Connie already did her update in his scrap, so it wasn't there. So we'll have it for the next one. And the fire service department, like the fire chief Donal is here, so I look. Thank you. I look at his report. Question on the fire department report. If not, continue. Keep up the good work. Building permits, number 8.3. We have the comparison from April last year and April this year, and the total as of now. It was more active, like over for the first 3-4 months. I got 6.4 millions last year, and today this year we're like 34 millions. It was a record year, so I think we're on the road like for another record this year to reach this amount. I don't know what the next 8 months will bring us, but Mr. Executive Director, anything to add? As you know, like the construction is in good shape in Shediac, so everything's doing good. And there's several projects coming. I think we should have a good year again for building permits, and Shediac is growing, and it's great. But we have to do it properly. You have letters coming in, and we're following the municipal plan, and all the region doing being developed their zone for this. So it's a lot of work, like a lot of work going on the municipality. So we appreciate like the citizens' patience. Councilor Bro, I have a monthly request. So if there are any new developments on the building, downtown building, so they're preparing their business plan to amalgamate like the subdivision. They cannot do it like before the subdivision is done. So they will present the project, I think, at the AGM of downtown Shediac, which and it's something like the business owners like from downtown say, well, so what inspired like the developer and architect, like what this building would look like. I think it will be great. It would be interesting for you to be there. Peter, to answer your question, it's not complicated. It's as soon as we get like the permits, I could say yes. I appreciate you asked me the question. It's our downtown, and we're eager to see buildings. Councillor Janice, thank you, Danny. You had mentioned that they will be doing a presentation for Shediac downtown. Would it be a possibility to do a presentation here at the council, so then the public, the citizen, could hear the presentation, and we would have the opportunity to ask some questions? I can always make the request if it's a desire of the board, but I don't know like how many times they can come do the presentation, but we could, because it would be public. I don't know if you're interested, or maybe we do not want to go there. Thanks for your suggestion. Perfect. Thank you very much. So we can see what they're doing at the downtown AGM. So they will present like the concept and something like that. Number 9, the report of the general manager. So I would just this evening just insist on the municipal reform. So we had a few meeting with the Regional Service Commission over the and as and several meeting also with the local entity, like the regional entity named Shediac. Yes, the Regional Service Committee are looking also for all the managers of the Southeast region. We're looking at the responsibility for and some mandates were given to the commission, and we are looking with the municipalities. They want to see our interests on the five big files, and I look also in my report Friday, like five working groups that were established: social development, economic, share infrastructure costs, tourism and transportation. And of course, we're talking more and more of immigration, affordable housing, and also like people's mobility to bring people. So these things are discussed and it's doing really well. And I know like the town is well represented in the five groups. We have four staff members, except myself, also at the regional service. Denis is there with tourism, economic development. Is involved also with cost sharing for and infrastructure. We have a very nice representation. We're involved also at the administration, so it's great. But there are some challenges. We got the confirmation last week that we will not get any funds to renovate the town hall to accommodate at least four other council members. Some funds were set aside, like 10 millions in the budget, but no money to allow the municipalities to adapt like their town hall. After the confirmation for the next 13 council, they were not announced by the ministers. So we mentioned the name of the entities last week, but for the next council, like starting January 2023, we got no confirmation. So it puts us in a situation where it's difficult for us to adapt like the town hall for 13 new members. So we'll have to do some work because as in January 2023, it will be more than 9. So all the electronic system, the telecommunication system, spaces, mic. We're trying to get some answers as soon as possible to get with some budget and quotes to adapt the town hall. It's a council chambers, really, not the town hall. So we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, but time is flying by. So this is the major challenges with the reform. And the discussions are really good. So next week, I will go on another subject. So the height of the building height. So Phil is coming next week to present his report that you should have received. So the last report is for the net zero. Phil asked me if he had to come, but it's to come next. If you have any question for net zero. So Phil will be there to answer all your questions. We'll present you the reports for the heights, the building heights, and we'll start the process. And next week we have the various bylaws. We would like to modify the one on water and dogs, and we would like to bring some changes. So the water distribution. So next week we will sit with the administration and what you are recommending. And that's it. So the only thing I would add, the number of councillors, so the next council for 2023. I know like the recommendation of the transition committee was even restructures like the boundaries of those four wards that were created, those four. Essentially, like it goes by one per LSD, but the Scuddock Road Wharf is bigger than the Scuddock Road LSD. So they took part of the Scuddock to have wards that had the same number of population. So they had to balance each other. So it was recommended. So I did not, as the general manager, I did not get any written confirmation by the province. Maybe we could ask for one. So when they talk about the number of councillors, they were saying 13 councillors for entity 37 at the time. So we chose the name And we could ask also a written confirmation just to get like the certainty. I did not get information that would be other than the four additional councillors. It was not confirmed in writing. We just have to ask. So, number 10.1. So modification to bylaw modification, Councillor Jambet, if you can. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Amendment to zoning bylaw Z-14-44 being bylaw Z-14-44-45Z. Whereas the town council made a request to amend bylaw Z-14-44 entitled Shediac zoning bylaw to make an amendment to the drainage provision to require developments to have a balanced surface runoff, net zero. Therefore, be it resolved that the council proceed with the review of the file to determine if it's in the public interest to amend the zoning bylaw. Be it further resolved that the clerk on behalf of the council to seek advice of the Shediac Planning Review Committee under section under 10 of the Committee Planning Act. Be it further resolved that the clerk be responsible on behalf and for the benefit of the council to cause within the time prescribed by section 111 of the Community Planning Act, and that the public notice of the adoption of such bylaw, and that the public hearing be set for June 27, 2022, 600 at in the council chamber at the City Hall to hear objection. I shall move. Councillor Jaman Galland, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean-Claude Bertin. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Against nay? Carried. 11. Unfinished business. Plan and communication strategy on pesticide. Yes, myself, and I will ask also Denis to complete. As you know, we met EcoVision 2025, which was also with H2O, just to make a motion like a communication asked by the council, and I think they have a lot of expertise. So, and Charles Legrelli is very competent, and he developed a very interesting plan. So the funds asked for Eco 2025 for the watershed, and so they are part of our budget, and they're asking to develop a strategy. So what we will need is to go to the council special fund to prepare some tools, such as signs and something else to get the numbers. So the request from the watershed also was in partnership with H2O to do some research to prepare the tools we need. It was close to $15,000. It's already part of our budget and under green strategy, and what would cost to produce and distribute the information we would need. It would be another $10,000. It's a strategy about $25,000. So we'll do a lot of research, and a lot of products have to be developed. Facebook messages, like a sign to put on the lawn. Conference, we're talking about several items. It would be altogether like a $25,000 budget, and we're looking also for fund from the discretionary. It's not only on 1 year. So the research will develop like an action plan for the next year. At the beginning, we thought it would be long, and then we decided the low-hanging fruits, like the item that's easier to do, so we could start to develop a few tools that would be easier. We'll start with small tools, and once the research is done, we can do more things like conferences, workshops, and things like that. At first, we will start with small pieces, and that should be good. So you will need a motion to this effect. Denis, do we have the amount? So it would be a motion to approve the hiring EcoVision 2025, and then we can come back with a resolution for the amount of money. Unless Denis is confident with the 10,000, we will bring it to the next meeting. We'll bring a resolution for the next meeting. Councillor Sylvie, question. Thanks, Mr. May. To make a motion to, to hire EcoVision 20. So I moved the. I'll just dictate by the general manager without the amount of money, and the amount of money will be specified later. And it would be from the discretionary fund of the of the council. The amount to be determined later. Moved by Councillor Sylvie Colette Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Germaine Galland. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. 11.2, a request from the community garden. Mr. Director? So it's like a plan, a concept for a garden, like to establish a garden at Jubilee Park. There were two graphs, so that's the approach like the community garden is proposing, to have all the infrastructure, but because they have to leave before July 1st, so they are proposing the Jubilee Park. So it gives an initial idea. Councillor Sylvie, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I look at the plan. It's super nice. So we have to determine what is it what we want. Do we want like to have the community garden with the Jubilee Park? Does it match it? We should go slowly. Is there a public consultation that to be done? I do not want to be burned. I want to ask the required question. Does it go there? What is our vision for the Jubilee Park? Might be outdated, but we could discuss this. On paper, it's super good. What is the amount? And yes, the municipality, we just have a small amount of money we have for the garden. What are the expenses? Like, is it a must-have? Nice to have? There are all this aspect. The pickleball group. I think it would fit there. So I was just wondering, like, I appreciate like we had it before we saw it. We were able to. I'm not ready like to vote on nothing like on the drawing, but I appreciate we had it before. Councillor Boudreau. Yes, for the concept, I had suggested like to hire a firm like to have a vision what it would look like. So I can tell you like they work really hard like to come out with the deadline for this evening. So you got some concept Friday and the rest today. So I think they did a lot of work, and it's a group. Unfortunately, they have very little time because they have to move like the existing spot like by June 30th. As for if it goes there, well, as for the zoning and the bylaws, I think it's part of this. I have no problem. Like, I think like the Parks Committee, I would suggest like the Parks Committee meet with the community garden, representative, and also the representative for the pickleball, because the two of them will work together, and they could see like to which extent we want to put that plan into action. And I think it's really important. And also to come with a recommendation next week, if possible, because we know like they have a planning on June 10th with more than 200 volunteers available to help. So I don't know like so once the meeting with the Parks Committee, and come up with a recommendation, if a recommendation could be done that would be acceptable for everyone, I would suggest that we have a special meeting before the plenary Monday. So that would be a possibility. I know the chair of the committee is here, so I ask her to come. Like if some people had some questions. Thanks, Councillor Lebeau. Three others who asked to talk. Councillor Janet. Yeah, I totally agree with Sylvie. I know we're limited. I'm not ready to take decision. Like early, the decision to accommodate for June 30th. I think there's a lot of things to think. I have questioned. Is it the only spot they looked at? Is it the best place? The money, the cost, and I'm not ready to make a decision in 4 or 5 days, 1 week, or I think there's other things to ask and question. We know like what happened when we go too fast, and I support Peter. I understand Peter. I know, but I don't want to take a decision in 1 week without having all the data to do take the right decision. I never recommended to take like an early decision. These are always good advice. Councillor Emile. I agree with Sylvie and Janice. I'm not ready to take a decision. I went there like at the Jubilee Park, and the first thing I noticed is there's no parking except like Jubilee Street, like the street that is there. If you go like the Pickleball in the summer, there's a small parking lot. You go see the parking lot, so they just park in a line, and which is good, but they know each other. So when someone leaves, so they just get out of the way. No problem, but I see that. So it's caught about half the parking lot in the drawing. So, and on the street itself, yes, it's one of the questions on the street itself. Like, doesn't fit that. You look at the build. Our community parks are our community parks. I do not agree like to have a garden. Sorry, Peter. I know you work on this. Like, I do not agree like to have a garden in any parks in our community parks. It's what they are. Community park. People want to use it as a park, like for children or adults or. So the last time Mrs. Babineau did a presentation of park, like the Oxon Park created, we were criticized on Facebook, so it created an uproar in town. It's not to go from one park to another. I was against the idea of put the garden in any one of our parks. Thanks, Councillor Emile. Mark wanted to talk just a specification here. I was on vacation last week, so I'm looking also at the concept that we have services and we have also like a water line and a stormwater line. Also, when it's a relocated building, so we have water lines with the fountain. So we would have to make sure like the services would build that plan, because something temporary it's okay. So if somebody break, we can remove the garden boxes, but would not put them like on a water line. So we want to make sure like those services are localized, depending what we decide, because it's not only like lawn. It's the services underneath. It wouldn't make sense because there's a well. There has to be pipe somewhere. So yeah. Councillor Germain and then Paul. Yeah. I push it with next. Okay. I think it's a very good concept. If it fits there, all for the best. I will say yes unless people around know what will be there. We need to have a public consultation, and we have to find out. It's great. Do they want it there? I would consult like people next door. It's a real project. If it's nice as it looks on paper, it would be nice to have it there. I think it's an excellent project, excellent place to put it. A community park. It's a community garden, so we have the parks for this group. So the only concern, and I mentioned it with Peter, those concern. Next question is the expansion of the pickleball. If ever it becomes a consultation, do we have a pickleball committee? Yes, sir. There's a group. There's a group of players. No, no, there's not like a committee, but so it comes with the consultation with the pickleball. So I think this installation would be there. For this, I'm concerned with the parking, but something that has to be studied is the draining. There's a challenge right in front of the fire station. Water is accumulating there. So that's something that would have to be addressed. And Mac is right. Some buildings proposed to change, but you cannot change wells, water wells, or we need to have a system what are the challenges in the community gardens, irrigation system. Like another concern would be the storage. It's great like a garden, so once raining before and after the seeding to store like the composting is not something that's easy. It was hidden on Bow Bridge, but this one here on the plan we should show like it would be hidden, the compost and the fertilizers and also the community garden, if you remember, like day to day, like for waste. When the clients in the lots also clean their boxes, I know it's all organic, but at least it has to be a place where it will be well stored, well hidden. I would support with those concerns if those could be overcome. It's an excellent project in town. It's a community project. A community garden is better than growing lawns. That's what I see. It's a passive park, so I would support this 100%. Thank you, Councilor Paul. Councilor Patricia. Yes, Mr. Mayor. The visual is great. The concern I have, Paul mentioned, like the waste, and also who will take care of the maintenance. Each individual is taking care of their own little lot, but it's good. The tables, the chairs, the fruit trees. Who will take care of all of this? Are these all extra expenses like I would like for the garden? If they could bring their future plans with us. So it's a garden that's right in the middle of town. So we would like for the residents around this, like that we are sure around the line, and always come with a cost. I don't know if they're able to take care of all of this. I would like for it to look it's the same as the picture. So we have lawns, and if apples fall, I don't know what type of fruits they're planting, but make sure the apples are on the ground if somebody's picking them. But the other one was a little bit hidden, so some things we did not see, but we could defer the question to the Parks Committee, and they could discuss with the community garden, as Councilor Bo was suggesting, because we have budgets also for the town. Who will take care of all of this? Will the citizens pay the cost? Just to know. We need some discussion. Mr. Deputy Mayor, I walk around in that people also play pickup. They already find where they play. It's small. A lot of people would like to play, but they don't have access. I think they should be approached to see what are the future plans, because if they want to expand, as you mentioned, there's not a whole lot of parking. So if the others expand, so it's a good park. It's a nice park. Community garden, as we mentioned, also the maintenance, the fences and grass growing. Will it well maintained? On picture is great on the plan, but the maintenance after like the boxes decaying or being damaged, and will it be repaired right away? These are all things we should be looking at. This is my opinion. Mr. Bro, you ready to make a motion to refer to the park committee? Table to, they will have discussion the community garden and the other partners, the pickleball committee, the neighbors, and seconded by who would like to second? Councillor Sylvie. All those in favor saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. You can ask another way. Yeah. So the Parks Committee, will they contact pickleball? So it was a motion, okay. So the next one, 12 point. VP Marketing. Proposal for a terrace at the Rotary Park. The Big Lobster. Is it Denny or? So we had a request from several individuals who are renting some installations at the Rotary Park. And recently, at least 1 year, we've been discussing this VIP seafood. There would be an interest also to expand like a exterior space to create like a little a small terrace. Like they already serving ice cream, but they was a lobster roll. So that's the service they're offering them. But they'd like also to offer craft beers. So his intention is not like to have a bar up to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's really to offer a couple of drinks to tourists that come during like the opening when the park is open. Usually it's from 9 to 9, so they would close like at 9 o'clock. Other like if we have a special event or something. So the request is to expand the territory and to add a couple of tables, have a terrace, and have also like the license would be the responsibility. So we have to give them like grant them like permission. So that's why we're coming to the council to have a permission to write a letter so they can have also their alcohol permit. So and then if the council wants to offer a service like that at the Rotary Council of Sylvie. Yes, Miss. Thanks a lot, Denis. So the subject came out to our Shediac experience, and around the table, like for the committee, we strongly agree that it goes forward. So it's an aspect, something missing at the Rotary Park. We see it in different towns, like close to the water, like when they want to attract tourism, and they offer those services. Just take like a cold beer, like in during the summer, like when the kids are running around the lobster, the big lobster, they might stay a bit longer, like the Rotary Park, and then they can visit also the other businesses there. I strongly agree, and I'm moving that we accept the request to expand also the land for Mr. Beliveau. Moved by Councillor Colette Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Questions on the motion? Councillor Patricia. Thank you, Mr. I was just looking at the picture. I'm wondering where the yellow dotted line. It's the fence. Will it change like the circulation in the park? Because we have no visual. So this where the ramp is. It's like the driveway or access to his business. There's another road after, like it was a parking and the trail will go through, like so it would not bother impact the traffic. So at the same I thought it was a good idea, but at the same time I did not want to block traffic. So it's something that could be done, but was not necessarily the spot we chosen. We think it makes sense, like for the planning of the park. and I presume like he's asking for the license. So he would have the responsibility for insurance if something happened. The town would not be responsible. Yes, it's a land like the lobster, like the town is still the owner of the land, so we'll ask for liability insurance and also the alcohol insurance, the same as we do with the lobster festival. Like, we would be asking for proof, but at the end of the day, like the town is the owner of the land, so we still have responsibility. How we can minimize like the risk. That's great. Thanks. Moved by Councillor Collet-Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Against name. Motion carried. Next item. The request for information from a council member. Any items? You had questions, Councillor Sylvie? Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. So this evening I'm bringing like a concern that was given by Réli Red, lives on Evergreen Drive, close to Cornwall. Himself and some residents, they have concern of their road, leur street, leur court. Maybe it's named a little bit different where we are on Cornwall. Really, is like the spokesperson for this section of this part of town. These are streets that are very narrow, and these streets like they have some have services, some do not have. Suppose they have these are not paved. Like there's different. Maybe different ways, like the municipalities, we maintain them. And Marconio, I was mentioning this evening, and Mr. Bello too. So every year, like our guys go there and they grade. So they just patch, and then when it rains, like it comes back. So can we put some chip seal? Well, it would just be maybe if Mark would like also to explain quickly. What I understood, maybe we could mandate or bring the discussion with our 10-year plan to see if it fits in the plan, if it goes even in our discussion. So I'm not sure, like maybe, Mark, I don't know if you want to discuss it. Yes, concerning Evergreen Drive. I just wanted like to do a brief history. Those were private streets. They were given to the town in the past. So this year, we would not accept it because they do not meet like the municipal standards. So the major thing with this is the right of way, and for the section north and south. So these sections, 15 meters. Some it's 12. Some it's so it's under like the bare minimum when we're building a new street. Sometimes we're going to 20, we accept 18. So the minimum will go 15. That's for new streets. So then we start by building the street and we develop after. But now the development is all done with one street with a small right of way. This is the northeast, east and west, where it's only 6 meters wide. If you go there, even two cars, like they cannot go through. They almost need to go like on the land of the property. So to do something on those roads, if we want to pave it, we need to manage like surface water. So we need to put ditches somewhere bag filled. So we need to make sure to have channels and everything. We need spaces, and over the years, trees and private properties also that are going on top of those right away. To do some work there, we're talking about major work like on this street section. So, and another, I know there's a water line that was added, was to offer emergency services like for fire service, and a lot of residents they got connected to the municipal system, but when they did so, they did not pave the street for because it's very complicated, like to do some work like that follows those on the municipal road that were not designed like this. We could talk also expropriation, also the property line, like to do it right. We will not chip seal. It's not something we will do. Like it's not in our standards, and the tax is not for these type of work. It's to renew the aging infrastructure. If you want to do something there, it's totally like a municipal money that would go to improve the street. So if we do something there, the other like dirt roads from the municipality, so we are creating a I understand like the concern of the citizen. It's not necessarily easy to do some work there, and it could cost a lot. So, if it's something like the council would like to mandate the administration to get like a cost estimate options, we could give a couple of options to see what we're talking about. I know at first, like I mentioned it to several consultants, and it will be complicated. It's a project we will have. You cannot just put some paver. We have to manage surface water if we do something, and then where will the water go? So we do not want to create other problems. So that's why like we have some standards to follow. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. So we need more information. Councillor Sylvie, you want to give the thanks for your explanation, Mark. Yes, I realize it would be a lot of cost also for me, and possibly also to rent it if we have to expropriate them. If they have to connect, we would need that to take an informed decision at this point. Well, we do not have enough information, so we know the dollar amount. So at this point, if the other council member agree, it would be maybe would it make sense to mandate the administration? We could discuss it in our 10-year plan to look at the question. And would you like to know how before we take this step, how much it cost? Because it will be a fee for the study, of course. If we're gonna hire like a engineer business, it's not something they will do for a couple of dollars. So maybe we could get a price, say how much it would cost, so what we could get. I feel that where we're at with all the projects we have, I move like to table this and bring it for the budget in the fall. So maybe like to do the consultation next year. Send to mention it. So that's because it's not something we can do. No, we cannot do anything now. So I would send an email with the information I have, but we could table the information, but we should include it in the fall budget to do the consultation for next year. So we will look here for the budget discussion, and we'll see how much money to do XYZ or ABC. Moved by Councillor Sylvie Boudreau, Colette Boudreau, seconded by Emile O'Brien. All those in favor saying aye, against nay, motion carried. Question, my question was, so I understand the dilemma, but I know we have to look in the future, but we will have the same problem with Pointe du Chêne. So in Pointe du Chêne, like the roads are not coming to the municipality, but for how long we do not know. Is it for the eternity, or I have no idea. No street of LSD will become like a municipal. They will stay under the jurisdiction of the province, and the province will be responsible for the maintenance. So it's a similar situation. It's a good question to ask ourselves. So, all in favor Moved by Councillor Patricia. So another matter, okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Councillor Patricia. Thank you, Miss. It was just a 2 second, like we passed the motion at the special meeting, like to close the street. So they did the presentation to the downtown committee. So there were no concerns because we had told them that consult the downtown, the Shediac. Yeah, for the so the chair did the presentation and there was no concern. And my other question was, often I see like the agreement with the marina, so I don't know where it's at. Do we have do we have a deadline like before we can make a decision on this project? Looking to find some kind of accent somewhere or access for boats. I'm just wondering, do they have? I know like you're working on that file, but right now it's negotiation, and finally like we came with some modification. So I was waiting for Mark to come back to see what they would recommend for the agreement. So it's to have something for June. I think the agreement has to be signed before we can get the approval. They want to see a copy of the agreement. It was a condition. We should be able to bring it to the June. So it's a site plan. So because we have a 50% review meeting scheduled for Wednesday, so it's one of the items on the agenda. It's to make sure like the site plan is adequate, and once we get the concept, we'll be able to add it. So it's like the last piece. By Wednesday, if the marina accept the concept, because we need to get the property line, so we're finalizing this here. So we should be able by Wednesday to have the site plan. Well, it's good. Was my second question. I would like to get a visual because we cannot present it right away because things will change. So that's what the number of parking spaces. It was always the major concern of the board. Even if we work on this, like this information are important. No, that's it. We'll bring it maybe to the plenary meeting. We should be okay, like to give information by then. Councillor Janice, there's just a question for planning we're doing would be important maybe, like the active transportation be involved in this. So we do the right thing. I know it's a major project, so maybe it's a project we do not want to go 100% after the active transportation decided for other places. Like I would like for all of this together. Like I want to keep it like the full picture, so it's right for the community. Thank you. Anything? Nothing else? Okay. Number 14.1. First reading of the bylaw number 2022. First reading of bylaw number 22, that bylaw concerning the collection disposal of garbage. That a bylaw entitled bylaw number 22-23, a bylaw amending the bylaw concerning the collection and disposal of garbage in the town of Shediac, be introduced by its title. Moved by Councillor Sylvie Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Bourg-Chavary. All in favor, saying aye. Against, nay. Carried. The clerk. That a bylaw entitled bylaw number 22-23, a bylaw amending the bylaw concerning I move that to accept the first reading of bylaw number 22 by title, seconded by Councillor Bouchevary. All those in favor saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. First read. It's a Sylvie and Patricia. Number 15.1. Mr. Deputy Mayor, yes, thank you. Appointment Assistant General Manager that Denis Leblanc be appointed Assistant Director General in the event of the absence or incapacity of the General Director or in the absence of the General Manager to perform all the duties and function of the General Manager. I shall move. Seconded by Deputy Mayor, moved by the Deputy Mayor Jean-Claude Bertin, seconded. Yes, Patricia, I have a question. I don't know if it was in the past, if it was Mr. Godin. So, is there like a extra remuneration, compensation? In the past, Réjean, we took the title, like he had other tasks associated to this. So we made a salary adjustment. So in this case, no, it's not something. No, no. The question of IT and this, no. No. It was a salary. No, for the assistant general director, no, there's no extra money. It's just a security to have a person like in absence. As a clerk, I have an assistant too, so. All those in favor saying aye, against nay, motion carried. Congratulations, Mr. Leblanc. It's positive. Yes, it's positive. 15.2, distribution of amounts under the residential incentive policy. Councillor Paul. Distribution of amount under the residential incentive policy. Therefore, be resolved that the City of Shediac issue a residential development incentive check to the following development: BDL Quality Unlimited, 16,250 plus HST; Sage One Construction, 1,250 plus HST; the Royal Canadian Legion, 9,382 plus HST; Luma Construction Limited, 3,750 plus HST; TML Properties, 14,000; Teresa Group, Inc., 31,000. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Paul Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye, against nay. Motion carried. Next item, distribution of amounts under the general business incentive policy. Whereas, as per policy 12-09, the following businesses are eligible to receive a payment under the commercial incentive policy in 2022. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Shediac agree to reimburse the following business under the commercial development incentive: Diamonds Windshield, second installment, 3,737.50 plus HST. Wiser Management Inc., second installment, $15,031 plus HST. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Bourgeois, seconded by Councillor Sylvie Boudreau. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. The last one. The resolution, revision of credit card account limit. Revision of credit card account limit. That the limit for all town of Shediac credit cards be increased to 50,000, and that the individual limits to the mayor's and Mr. Denis Pelleret's card be increased to $5,000. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Janice Cormier, seconded Councillor Emile O'Brien. I have a question. Mrs. Finance Director, why are we doing this? Because all with the restriction removed because of COVID. There's more travel, more conferences, more expenses, and the expenses a little bit higher. So we're doing more campaign for tourism, and it all goes on the credit card. So it asks that our limit be increased. Questions on the motion? It's a yeah, for all of them, 25,000 for the total amount. Yes, so I think the mayor's card for 2009. I never spend all of this, but all those in favor signify by saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Nominations to committee. So I have two committees. I have to do some nomination. One is for the committee on the Joint Committee for Protection and Active Transportation. So we would like to nominate someone for his experience in kayak experience, boat experience. So it's Mr. Michael Book. He's already part of the Environment Committee, and also Mr. Marc Leblanc. He has experience, boating experience. So we need two different resolutions. So that's what we were starting. We wanted to move, so I need a mover and a seconder. So moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien, seconded by Councillor Patricia Chevary. Question to the motion. Just press your button. So all those in favor signify saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. And the next one, it's a committee for fire department. So we had said like we wanted to put in place, implement a committee because of unforeseen delays like in the last month. It would be comprised of councillors, the Protection Committee, Councillor Émile O'Brien and Paul Boudreau, the Fire Chief Donald Cormier, and his assistants. I know Joe Leblanc and the former Fire Chief Norbert Viano, and also a citizen Mike O'Brien, who already sat. He sits on the board, and he already sat also on the multi-purpose center. So that's what I'm bringing to you this evening. So I would move by Councillor Émile O'Brien, second Paul Boudreau. They're so eager to do some more work. All those in favor signify saying aye. Against nay. Carried. Thank you very much. So number 17, like a motion to adjourn. So moved by Councillor Sylvie Colette Boudreau. Thank you.